21 Pilots are back with their seventh studio album called Clancy, released on Fueled by Ramen and Elektra Records. Are we all
Oh,
excited
To do the
yeah.
review
to do the
or
review? Were we all
yeah
excited, should I say?
So
for the
excited.
album? Vague questions here. I mean, what are
Yeah.
they directed at?
Well, were you
Um,
excited for the
Are you talking
album
to
to
us?
be
so
released?
are we in the room with you right now?
You're not, no.
I
Is
think
Fun in the room with us?
it was a strange
Um,
one in terms of singles beforehand, wasn't it? Because Overcompensate came out, and I know Yanni and we vibe heavy hard to
Yeah.
Overcompensate. Yeah, we
mm,
have good times with each other.
good time, boys.
Um, Callum, I don't know what ended up being your
I
idea on that song.
I was a good time boy for the first minute,
Right.
and then a very, very, very bad time boy.
And then this the singles kind of went instantly downhill from there. From
Yeah.
Overcompensate, nothing was as expected from that first single. What we wanted to happen. I know I checked out. I think after it was the second single Next Semester. Is that right?
Yeah,
I don't
very
think we
different.
listened to any more after that, or I didn't anyway.
No, I did.
Apart from maybe just skipping through, I didn't really give them much effort. But I kind of kept hearing the same as Next Semester, and then wasn't as interested. And it's quite interesting that really because that's just what the album is in a sense. It starts with Overcompensate, which overcompensates for everything else. No, that's a rude thing to say because honestly, the rest of the album isn't too bad, but it all feels very coherent and of a similar vein. But yeah,
Apart from Overcompensate.
overcompensate is very different. As
Definitely the
I say,
outlier, isn't
a
it?
massive red herring. Really, quite a strange way to start the album.
Yeah. Um, I ended up enjoying this album more than I thought I would, to be honest with you. I know way back when we were little boys, when we reviewed, or we listened to at the time of release, Scaled and Icy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I kind of liked a couple of the tracks from memory. But yeah, nothing that ever lasted with me. And then everything else that I've sort of known about them until very recently, I just thought was a bit cringe, and the fan base was a bit much. Can't wait for all the hate that's going to come off of that comment.
At least it's not me for a
They
change.
know it. I think they know it.
I won't be backsliding now. So as soon as that first single came out, Compensate, I was very excited, and New Semester really threw me off. It's a bit like pop punky, and I was not expecting it. Backslide, I did enjoy more. I think it transitions very well into the chorus of that. It's almost like a seamless transition into it. And I will say that most of these songs, if not all, are so interesting in terms of like it hardly feels like you're listening to the same thing happen more than once.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good at making a song.
They almost write music in like a musical. I feel it's like if you're watching like a stage musical. And there's motifs and there's bits that come back, but I feel like musical writers are very good at, as you say, kind of making each part sound like it's brand new. Because I guess they have to because the new things are happening visually and what have you. And I do feel like when you listen to 21 Pilots and this album in particular, it feels like there's acts to each song almost. They come in and out and stuff. And you're right, it's very interesting. They are very good songwriters, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think the only one that's stuck with me really from listening to the whole album that wasn't a single is Midwest Indigo. Apart from that, nothing's really stuck with me. But I have enjoyed it, to be honest. So I'll go back and revisit it.
Yep.
Over the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's likewise for me. As I say, I know I kind of started this off by saying that the rest was almost a bit of a letdown, but once you kind of get past once you're in the second and third song and you're aware of what's going on, it really sticks to that vibe very well, and keeps it very interesting, keeps it light where it needs to be, heavier where it needs to be, and not necessarily exactly what I'm looking for from 21 Pilots, but Still an enjoyable listen overall, and yeah, there are a few tracks that stood out for me. One being Midwest Indigo. I liked Vignette, and I really liked the close of Paladin Strait. I thought it was really nice. And obviously Overcompensate. It's just slaps. Slaps.
Now, Cal,
Yes.
expect the worst people listening.
I don't like 21 Pilots pretty much at all, stylistically. But the album has kind of made me realise that they can write a good song. Pretty much consistently throughout the album, I've enjoyed the chorus on pretty much every song, give or take a few. The only one I really don't like is Lavish. That is pretty much everything I hate about 21 Pilots rolled into one.
I quite like
Incredibly, yeah, but you like 21 Pilots.
I don't think it sounds very 21 Pilots either.
It's just so obnoxious. Don't like it. The first minute of Overcompensate, I think it's great. I do tend to find myself leaning towards the more generic ones on the album, probably as a result of me not liking them stylistically. Next Semester, I thought was really strong, particularly in the chorus. Midwest Indigo, I can't really remember it off the top of my head. I can't remember if it's more generic, but I remember liking that one. Navigating as well. I hated the way he said the word navigating, but in general, it was quite good. Musically, they were doing quite fun things. I just think it's so... I think obnoxious is the word. I don't know whether or not that's self-aware obnoxiousness, but from an outsider, it is really hard for me to grab onto anything, really. But I got through a 21 Pilots album, which is more than I was anticipating before I had done so. And I didn't hate myself too much.
I think it's worth saying that I don't think when you're saying they're obnoxious. It's just an obnoxious sound, right? Because I think they're obnoxiously whatever they are.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah, whatever they are doing, they're doing it so much that it's almost obnoxious kind of thing. They're obnoxiously earnest, I would say.
As someone who doesn't get enough from their music to want to delve deeper into the meaning or the delivery or whatever, it's completely surface level. It sounds obnoxious in just the way it's delivered. But that could just be me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just can't. I don't know. Even the songs that I like on this, I'm probably never going to return to. I did put Next Semester in my playlist, but I would probably skip it quite often. But yeah, I mean, there was more that I could enjoy than I was anticipating, which I think is progress.
Well, yeah, that's
definitely is progress.
Yeah.
Another one I forgot to mention, Routines in the Night. I really like that one as well.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yeah. Agreement. So, nice.
I do think you should, if you didn't already, Jan, and you too, Callum. Check out Scaled and Icy, because I think it's when you say you enjoy the choruses and stuff, I feel like that's the album where they really nail that, because it's just you've got to kind of take it with a pinch of salt that it's very kind of poppy and radio friendly and stuff, but still very interesting songwriting, still catchy choruses and things like that. It's not straightforward in any way. None of this is kind of straightforward. There might be a few tracks on there. I think it's worth a listen just to see if there are a couple tracks you like. Because I think it's a solid album, despite what everyone else in the world seems to say. I think it's because Trench was such a kind of high point, which is still probably their best album. And sadly, they don't quite reach with this. I feel like they're trying to... This is part of... I mean, I don't know the lore of all this stuff, but it's the same characters or something from maybe Blurry Face or Trench. I don't know which one, but... yeah, this feels like they're trying to kind of melt together all those different... all the past 3 or 4 albums together into some sound. It doesn't quite hit it stylistically for me, I think, as enjoyable as the songs themselves are. Stylistically, it's not clear enough as some of those last albums. And yeah, that's basically a roundabout way of me saying the Trench was good, and they did hit it stylistically pretty well.
Do we feel comfortable giving it a rating, boys?
I mean, I will. It's probably going to be
Ill-informed.
ruin the average a little bit. I can only go off based on what I want from an album, while obviously taking in account how well it's been done. And I'm aware this is going to be extremely harsh. Feel free to put it in the teaser, Yanni. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10.
That does feel overly harsh.
Yeah, it does
But
feel overly hard.
honestly,
Considering other ratings you've given in the past, that feels ridiculously harsh.
honestly though, could you imagine me really giving the 21 Pilots more than a 3?
After what you were saying,
After what you've
I would
said,
yeah,
yeah.
to be honest.
No.
He's only kept the positive comments for us, hasn't he? That's what he's done here.
By the sounds of the whole
Every
thing,
other
yeah.
second of him being like, "Fucking hate the sound of this." He's not touched on. I'd give it a 7. I think. I feel like what they've tried to do, they've done very, very well. I just don't think it's quite what I want.
I'd also give it a 7 for the exact same reasons.
Yeah. I don't think it's the
Not a
best
million
from them.
miles away from you, then.
I think the best
Sorry?
from them is higher than a 7.
Not a million miles away from you.
I mean, it's massive.
In terms of
difference.
numbers, yeah, they're not miles away, are they?
Yeah.
The two apart, but
it's a
like,
hop.
It,
means a lot
what?
different though. It means something completely different.
Yeah,
than
but
a
you
5 and a
two-
7.
Yeah, but what
You
between
two
a 3
have-
and a 5? That's a big difference, isn't it? You must admit that.
Yeah, but you two have prior
You must-
enjoyment to 21 Pilots.
Yeah, and so it's not quite. I feel like 8's like you're getting into very good territory there, whereas this just doesn't quite cut it. But it's still much better than average, which would be 5 or 6.
Well, for me, it's extremely average because I went into it expecting to hate it, and I thought, yeah, it's all right. So for me, it's average.
So it exceeds expectations.
Yeah, because I was anticipating it being a 2 or a 3.
Listen, let's.
I can only go off what I like. You know what I
Broaden
mean?
your horizons, bro.
I mean, I would say that like this album really gave me nothing of what I like from 21 Pilots. Well, in some places it did, but generally, the first time I listened to it, I was like, it's not what I want. But the more I've listened to it, I've grown to appreciate it more. So just grow up in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fool's average of what, Liam?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, pretty
6.
much is
It's
a
a
full
6.
average.
I guess it gets pulled down to a 6.
Thank you for watching the review. Leave your comments below on what you think, especially about how much you don't like Callum after what he's just done.
Bring
Give
it
it a
on.
like, a subscribe, a ting of the bell, and much love.